I will call the February 13th, 2024 regular monthly meeting of the U.S. Chess Executive Board to order, and we'll do the roll. So Randy Bauer is here, and Kevin Pryor. Is Kevin
here?
Okay, thanks. Oh, there you are, right in the middle. Chuck Unruh.
Present.
Mike Hoffpower. He's present and on mute. And David Hayter.
Present.
And John Fernandez.
Present.
And Vish.
Here.
And Leela.
Here.
Okay, and Renee Hartman.
Present.
Acting Executive Director. So we have a quorum, all are present and accounted for. And next item on the order of open session is the disclosure of conflicts of interest. Are there any new conflicts of interest that the executive board members need to disclose? Hearing none. Next item is financial report for January 2024. And I recognize Vice President Finance Chuck Unruh.
Thank you, Mr. President. Exciting times. We're almost 3/4 of the way through our fiscal year, and our bottom line at this point is over $1 million surplus. It's how did we get there is a different story, but it's a wonderful story. And this year, well, as you well know out there, we start our fiscal year June 1st, and this year, since June 1st, our membership revenue is up 8.3%. Our membership is up. January, we slipped a little bit as far as year-to-year comparisons, but not much, a few percent. And we'll probably pick that up as we go into the springtime, one of the strongest periods in our business cycle. So this $1 million surplus sounds huge, but we've been very fortunate. And we just had through the door in January another $250,000 sponsorship, and that goes to the bottom line. And of course, before that, we had $69,000 come in the door for enhancing the Barber Endowment. So exciting times to see all these donations in the mission. And on the other side of it, it's just that you don't make the revenue, but you have expenses. And when we look through our expenses, we find out that they're well within budget. And that's exciting news to have such cost controls when the mission has increased, the number of participants that are at the tournaments has increased, so your G&A goes up. And we've been able to keep our expenses in check, are reasonable. So that flows all to the bottom line. The other thing that's happened this fiscal year is starting November 1st. Once again, we rallied with the market. We were very fortunate. And that rally added to the bottom line $400,000 in 3 months. So that's exciting news. A lot of that is recovering losses from the past that are what we call unrealized capital losses. As interest rates went up, the value of some of our assets went down. So we've recovered those, plus $20,000 on average of cash distributions, dividends, and interest. These are exciting times. We'll finish with a surplus on the bottom line, most likely, but there are some challenges. And one of those will be upgrading our systems, our information technology, meaning the rating system. We do have bids that have come in. We've solicited bids from software firms, and we'll be spending most likely upwards of $500,000. So yes, we're fortunate to have the funds. We're fortunate to be ahead, but the expenses are coming, and I want to warn on those. there'll be times we'll spend and upgrade our CapEx, our informational system. Well, that's not just 1 year. It's going to be many years. Hopefully we'll use it. So that's the financial report, and I'll open it up to questions. I think I sent it around with all the details.
Yeah, I mean, I just would make the comment that we have been planning for this infrastructure upgrade. And the fact that we now have surplus means we do not have to use some of the other resources that we'd already set aside for it. So it certainly was not unexpected from all of our perspective. And it is a capital investment that has a useful life that we hope will be at least a decade or so, or longer. So it's a good thing.
It is, Mr. President. On the operations side, I watch our cash equivalents and cash on hand, and they have been strong all year. So,
well, and of course, now for the time being, Renee is doing the work of two people, and we certainly appreciate that. But that also provides some, one-time savings that will accrue to the bottom line also. So.
yes, there's a tremendous amount of information out there on our finances, but I didn't want to go line by line or detail. But if there are questions, my email, just email me and I'll try to answer them.
Any questions? Well, thank you, Chuck. Obviously, it's very good news, and we appreciate all the time and effort that you put into, particularly guiding a lot of the investment decisions based on board and investment committee's policy. So thank you for all that.
You're very welcome.
Is there anything else anybody has for our open session? Hearing none, we will go into closed session and, of course, stop recording. I will reconvene the executive board in open session. We've had extensive discussion about a number of topics, some of which are kind of boring, like banking resolutions, other that deal with more, material events, including our selection of auditor for the coming next 3 fiscal years, and some work that we're doing on some other issues that have come before the board, and there are some motions coming out of the closed session. Mr. Secretary, do you want to read the motion, the first motion?
Yes, Mr. President. So there are going to be 4 motions we're going to vote on this evening. The first motion stems from an appeal by a member of the Federation to him being banned from U.S. chess and some other stipulations. So I'm going to read that motion for the membership. The Executive Board moves to deny the appeal of Grandmaster Timur Gariev, U.S. Chess ID 13262157, which he filed in response to Executive Board motions passed on December 3rd, 2023, to permanently ban him from U.S. chess membership under the authority of Article 3, Section 12 of the U.S. chess bylaws, and to recommend that FIDE deregister him from the USA Federation. U.S. Chess will notify Grandmaster Gariev in writing of this denial and inform him of his right to appeal the Executive Board's decision to the Board of Delegates at the next annual meeting in August 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Is there discussion on the motion? Hearing none, the motion is to deny the appeal. Those in favor of denying the appeal will say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And any voting present? The motion passes 8-0 to deny the appeal. Next motion, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, sir. We now have 2 related motions, and I'll read the first one. The Executive Board moves to update and approve the assignment of the Bank of America account ownership and related matters for the U.S. Chess Federation by revising the signatories to its account with Bank of America as follows. 1, to remove the existing signatories, Randy Bauer, Chuck Unruh, Carol Meyer, and Corey Cormick. And 2, to replace them with Randy Bauer, Chuck Unruh, Corey Cormick, and Renee Bartlett as new signatories.
And for those who may, this is related to the fact that Carol Meyer is no longer the executive director of US Chess, and Renee Bartlett is the interim executive director. Is there a discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Present, motion passes 8-0. Mr.
Okay.
Secretary, next motion.
Yes, sir. The next motion is very similar to the first one, just deals with a different bank account.
Okay.
The executive board moves to update and approve the assignment of the Regions Bank account ownership and related matters for the U.S. Chess Federation by revising the signatories to its accounts with Regions Bank as follows. 1, to remove the existing signatories, Christine Green, Carol Lenhart, and Corey Cormick, and 2, to replace them with Christine Green, Corey Cormick, and Renee Bartlett as new signatories.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Present, the motion passes 8-0. Mr. Secretary, one more motion?
Yes, we do, and I'll allow Vice President of Finance Unruh to just introduce this motion briefly before I read it.
Yes. A finance committee composed of the executive director, our assistant accounting staff, the president, and myself interviewed several audit firms. Upon completion of the audit firms, of interviewing the firms, we recommend Assurance Dimension as the new auditors for US Chess. And that is the rationale for this motion.
Okay. I'll now read the following motion into the record. The executive board moves to approve the firm of Assurance Dimensions for the next 3 fiscal years to provide audit and tax filing services beginning with fiscal year 2023-24. The motion is based on a recommendation from the financial committee that reviewed and interviewed various audit firms in response to an earlier request for proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Is there discussion on the motion? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Present, motion passes 8-0.
Mr. President, there are no additional motions.
You, Mr. Secretary, that was what I was going to ask. Is there any other any points that anybody wishes to make before we adjourn for the evening? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved. Second.
The second came before the motion, but that'll work. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourn, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Sign, President. We are adjourned.
Okay, and we'll stay on, and Renee is going to drop off.
Yeah, and the recording's